me have the honor of introducing our commencement speaker, Steve Spriester. He's won an Emmy, he's been recognized as a powerful voice for South Texas, and his voice has even been used on a song by the rapper Future. For a journalist who hopes to make a difference, I'd say he's done pretty well. Steve Spriester has been at KSAT, the ABC affiliate in San Antonio, since 1995. His stories and his newscasts have been award-winning and have led the ratings consistently. He attended the University of Nebraska at Lincoln and currently anchors KSAT's top-rated 5, 6, and 10 p.m. newscasts. Having an impact is something that every journalist strives to achieve, and Steve Spriester's reporting and his anchoring have had an impact on San Antonio and throughout South Texas. From his series of reports that led to the San Antonio medical community setting up stroke centers, to the special report on San Antonio's lack of services for the homeless that led to the creation of the innovative Haven for Hope campus, his reports have sparked change. He started at KSAT as a general assignments reporter, and reporting is still important to him. It helps keep me connected to the community, Steve says. And just last year, in the middle of the pandemic, Steve moderated a debate on the Sol Ross and Southwest Texas Junior College campuses in Uvalde between now Congressman Tony Gonzalez and the Democratic candidate Gina Ortiz Jones. Steve has also planted his San Antonio roots. He's married to a native Texan. All three of his daughters were born in San Antonio. He's active in his church, in numerous charities, and his family spearheaded the effort to build a permanent home for the family of an injured child that they helped after the 2010 earthquake in Haiti. For someone who spent his early years in the Midwest, he's now happy to call Texas home. Who wouldn't be, right? For someone who spent most of his life in the Midwest, really, I mean, come on, this is Texas, and particularly, we're excited to welcome him to Alpine and to Sol Ross. He loves Alpine, has traveled to this area before, and is really excited to be part of the special Sol Ross celebration today. So let's give a round of applause to Steve Spriester.
Thank you, President. The administration, the faculty, the staff, thank you so much for the welcome that you've given me. And I also want to be the next in a long line of people to congratulate each and every student that is in front of us right now. You guys excited? Just more than a nod of a head. Come on. You guys can give me more than that, right? Yeah, all right, good. What we are doing here today is a celebration of what you have accomplished in times like I don't think we have ever seen before. Unusual times, to say the least. You have overcome so much, and I am thrilled to be here today to take part in this special honor. And all the parents that are here too, thank you for all that you did during the pandemic. Go Lobos. Thank you. I also want to point out, I do have special Lobo-colored socks on. I don't know if you guys can see those. I'm trying to get in the school spirit. It is homecoming week. I also, am thrilled to be introduced by Pete Gallego in the Pete Gallego Center, on the Pete Gallego podium, talking in the Pete Gallego microphone. So, I don't know, Pete, you're proud of being from Sol Ross and from Alpine. I also want to admit, I have never done this before. I have never given a commencement address before. So bear with me through this whole thing, all right? You guys have never graduated before, so we're kind of on the same realm here. I am Steve Spriester. I'm an anchor, I'm a journalist, and I know in some places that's not looked upon as a good thing, but I'm very proud of what I do and the people that I work with. I hope today here at Sol Ross State, in this beautiful part of the country, we can forget our preconceived notions about each other and what we stand for and who we stand with, and just have a talk. Let me get some things out of the way first. Yes, I am an anchor. I know some of you have probably seen Ron Burgundy, the legend of Ron Burgundy, Anchorman. This is my real hair. I do wear makeup. I'm not wearing makeup right now. And no, I didn't need 3 seats, one for me, one for my wife, and one for my ego. I just want to get that out of the way. I will tell you a funny thing, though, about hair. I get a lot of questions about my hair. Do you color your hair? Is that really your hair? Who cuts your hair? Why are you coloring your hair? Those kind of things. I don't color my hair. There's gray. I have 3 daughters. There's gray. But we were getting ready for a satellite interview one time at the station with then Governor Rick Perry. And you guys know what Rick Perry looks like? I mean, he's got a great head of hair. He's very proud of his hair. I'm proud of my hair. It was a satellite interview. We were in San Antonio. He was in Houston. He was campaigning in Houston, and we were doing a satellite interview, but we had technical problems, and he couldn't hear what I was saying. I could hear him, but he couldn't hear what I was saying. So we're sitting there waiting for him to figure out what's going on between San Antonio and Houston, and I look at one of my floor directors, and I said, all right, seriously, put us in a side-by-side. Who has better hair, me or Rick Perry? And just as I said that, they fixed my mic, and it worked, and Rick Perry heard what I said. And he started laughing, luckily. I started laughing, and I turned to Tyler, our floor director, and I said, oh, man, I think we're in trouble now. And the governor said, no, I want to know who won. Because if you don't say me, I'm sending the Texas Rangers to KSAT right now. So I just, I work at the ABC affiliate in San Antonio. I love what I do for a living. I love where I live. I get to meet some great people. I have covered 5 NBA championships for the San Antonio Spurs from the news side. I have stood on a court where just an arm's length away were LeBron James, Tim Duncan, Manu Ginobili, Tony Parker. And for a news guy who never covers sports, that was something where I was like, I just hope I can speak with all these people. I have been to conventions, inaugurations. I've covered presidents. I have seen the devastation that Mother Nature has wrought. But what I remember most about all of this is the people that I've met. And not just the Tim Duncans and the Manu Ginobilis, but the people I've met. I titled this talk today, Shooting for the Stars, or at least the Marfa Lights. Yeah, I have been to Fort Davis and Alpine and Marathon and Marfa. I have stayed at the observatory. I have seen the sights and the sounds. I have never seen the Marfa Lights. Can we have a show of hand of anybody who's ever seen the Marfa Lights? Okay, because I had some guy tell me today they don't exist. Or that you have to, tip a bottle a little bit to see the Marfa Lights. But I am bound one of these days to see the Marfa Lights. But that's not what keeps me coming back here to this part of Texas. It is the people that I've met here, including your president, Pete Gallego. He invited me to speak today. I jumped at the chance. I have always enjoyed the visits and the interactions that I've had with Pete. I really enjoyed the interactions I had with both Pete and Will Hurd before, during, and after the debates I moderated when they were running against each other. I hope this isn't a sore subject. This okay? Okay, not at all. Yes, that's good. 2 men, different ideas, but I believe both cared about the people that they served and the people of this country. I put away my preconceived notions of what a Republican and a Democrat are supposed to be and got to know the people involved, and that is one of the things I want to talk about this afternoon. I learned from our conversations that Pete was shaped by his family's restaurant and watching his parents and how they grew a business and interacted with people. I learned that Will Hurd was shaped by his parents, a black father, a white mother, and how they made their way through this world. I want to talk about one of the things I don't think we do enough as Americans, and that's listening. Listening with an open mind, sometimes listening with an open heart, and recognizing the similarities that we have, not just the differences. It's something I've learned over the years as a journalist and as a person. When I sit down for interviews these days, I write down an outline of the topics that I want to talk about, but I don't write down specific questions because I want to make sure when I leave that room, or when I am in that room, I am listening to the subject I'm talking to, that I know what they're saying. I want to listen to what the person is telling me, whether it's someone running for Congress or someone who just lost a child, whether it's the mayor of San Antonio or a neighbor who's complaining about property taxes. I want to be able to listen, and that is what I hope you are able to do and take forward. Listen, and listen with a curiosity. Sometimes if I write down questions, I get preoccupied with the fact I've got to hit all these questions and get all these questions in, and maybe I don't listen to the fact that there's something more interesting than the questions I have that's going on there. Leave room for listening has served me well in my professional and personal life. Are we doing that every day? We aren't in the media, in the national media especially. It seems like there's a lot of just yelling over each other to get your point across and not less listening with curiosity. I believe that we find when we listen to each other, we have more in common than we might think. I've seen it play out over and over again. It's something that goes beyond what I do for a living. I also love learning. I love learning about something new, something I have never experienced, someone that I have never met before. What are they all about? It's a curiosity I have. Listening helps. I get more out of events like this because I learn and listen. I just learned that Pete Gallego has a new mural that they put up just outside these doors. I learned that Sul Ross State has great pride in their homecoming week. I saw your homecoming event outside with the dancers, and I saw some graduates that were in the university shop buying up the Sul Ross gear because they are so proud of the school that they graduated from. I am also a bit of a dreamer. I'm just going to be honest with you. I grew up in the town of Tabor, Iowa. The population at the time I was growing up there, about 1,000 people. Just think about it. Alpine's about 5 times bigger than where I grew up. When I told friends I wanted to work in radio or television as a journalist, I was not met with universal support. I was not met with universal belief, but it was something I had a passion for. I still remember my grandmother telling me in Kansas City, Missouri, that why do you want to go into broadcasting? All you're going to be is a DJ, which I didn't have a problem with. I thought DJ was pretty cool. But I said, no, Grandma, I want to be on television. I was in college at the time. She was doubting, but once I graduated and got on television, she was the proudest grandmother that you can imagine. I was listening back then, but I also had faith in myself. Listening doesn't always mean agreeing. Active listening with curiosity. The doubters actually kind of fueled me to prove people wrong and chase my dream. I hope that for you as well, graduates. I also have 3 wonderful daughters and a fantastic wife. This is where listening may be key, because I don't know the pressures of being a female. I don't know the pressures of what it's like going to school these days. I don't know what it's like going to college these days. I will never know exactly what they're going through, and I have made mistakes as a father and a husband, but I've listened, and I have tried to learn from those mistakes. What I hope for each of you is a dream that you hold close as you listen and as you continue to learn. You have adapted and overcome in the last couple of years in ways I never had to in college. Remote learning, social distancing, mask wearing weren't things that happened when I was at the University of Nebraska. They are for you. Know as you go forward that what you've learned at Sul Ross and what you have gone through will serve you well in whatever is next. And remember to learn and listen along the way. whether it's shooting for the stars or the Marfa lights. I may just, see those lights this weekend. Thank you for your time, and go Lobos. Congratulations.